Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about why Google Tag Manager for your website or app is absolutely magical. Check it out. Here we go. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining me here. So, Google Tag Manager, if you don't understand it and you have a website, it can actually be a very, very magical thing here. That's why I want to emphasize that. And you're probably wondering what the heck I'm even talking about here. So, if you've got a website, it's 2020 and you need to install different tracking pixels on your website. What the heck am I talking about? Well, just generally off the bat, across all websites, you probably want to have a Google Analytics tag. You probably want to have a Facebook pixel on there, and you might want some other retargeting pixels, a Google Ads pixel, a few other things, right? Depending on what you're doing for retargeting, for just the different apps and ecosystems that are out there. So, in order to do that, if you just have your website without Google Tag Manager, that's going to be this side over here. Okay, now each one of those tags that I just discussed, you're going to have to deploy those. Tag 1, Tag 2, Tag 3. And these can be any of those things I just talked about. Your Google Analytics pixel, the Facebook pixel for your conversions, for your audience lookalike segments, for all of that. So you've got each one of these tags. And the problem is, anytime that you want to add a new tag to your website, say you find this new tool, you want to check it out, you want to add it to your website. I just did a video about Get Emails, for example. There's a pixel that you have to install. So in order to do that, you would have to go back into your website, log in underneath the head code, under your other tags, and deploy that new tag. Double check it, make sure it doesn't break anything on your website. Make sure you embedded the code in the right spot in between the opening head tag, the closing head tag, between all this other code that's in between here, and then you're going to save that. And God help you, I hope everything works and nothing blows up and your website doesn't have an error, okay? Because deploying tags in the wrong way can cause problems on websites. And if you're deploying it using this, what I would call old school, archaic way, you have no control really over these tags unless the actual tag and the provider lets you set those different specifications of what this tag, when this tag will fire. Otherwise, the tag is going to fire across your whole website. And if you have a bunch of tags, it can even slow down your website, which is exactly what you don't want to do. So, enter Google Tag Manager. Everybody in the industry calls it GTM. We got to have acronyms for everything. It's kind of funny. But Google Tag Manager, what this is in between your head tags, you want to put Google Tag Manager as close to the top as you can. But really, you just put the script, okay, for Google Tag Manager. And you open it, you close it. And what this does is this script is locked. So once you make sure everything's correct in your head tag on your website, you never have to log back into your website. Guess what? Whenever you want to change anything after this, you just log into Google Tag Manager. And inside of Google Tag Manager, you can set the firing order of all of your different tags. So you've got tag 1, tag 2, tag 3, tag 4, tag 5, tag 6, and so on, okay? And what's really fascinating about this is, on this tag 1, for example, if there's advanced functionality inside of Google Tag Manager. So, on tag 1, for example, let's say that this is, for example, a chat app, a live chat app that's going to pop up on the page. I could say, only fire this tag on, let's say, the contact pages. So then this tag for my chat app is only going to fire on the contact pages after, let's say, after 10 seconds. So if they start filling it out, let them fill it out. But if they don't do anything after 10 seconds, hit them with the tag 1, which will fire the chat app, which will pop up on the page. this is something that if you are manually deploying the tags on your website, you don't have control over this necessarily unless they let you control it in the chat app. But in Google Tag Manager here, you have full control over all of these tags, okay? Furthermore, what you can do is inside of this Google Tag Manager dashboard, you can control exactly what fires when, and more importantly, if you then need to undeploy a tag. You don't have to go back into your website code, figure out where that tag snippet is. You just come in here to Google Tag Manager and say, I want to delete tag 2, and then publish the changes after you verify that nothing's wrong in the dev environment. You can just delete that tag out, hit publish, and then you're good to go. It keeps all your other tags, everything's good, you've deleted the tag that you don't need anymore, and you're off to the races. So this is really, really important when you start to have more complex web environments on your website, where instead of manually going in and doing all of these different tags and firing them and trying to control that, you can use this script inside of Google Tag Manager that you deploy one time, okay? And then anytime you need to make a change, you can go into Google Tag Manager and manage all of these different tags inside of their portal. And the best part about it is it's 100% free if you're a small or medium business, if you're not doing a lot of volume. If you need to do some more complex functionality, I believe there is a paid plan, but just like the Google Suite, like Google Analytics, this is a free program to use on your website. So you can have all of your different tags however you need them set up, and you have more control over the different tags and where you need them to fire. So that way, a crucial element of Google and SEO and websites is obviously speed. So what you want to make sure is when you're having multiple tags fire, people will generally say, if you have a lot of tags, that's going to slow down your website. Well, in general, that's true, because the more things that load on your website, the slower it's going to be. And there's things like asynchronous loads that can help with that, which means it loads after the page is loaded already, right? So the way to prevent that is to, or more to, try to mitigate the risk in that, is to have these different layers here of this one's only going to load on certain pages that need it, not on all pages, and it's only going to load after 10 seconds. So that way you make sure you have a good customer experience. These other conversion tags, you probably want those loading on most pages and tracking people through their sessions as they convert or don't convert, for, say, retargeting ads if they don't convert, or moving them into another phase of the funnel if they do convert. Some other tags you're obviously going to want is Google Analytics. On that one, you want it to fire across all sessions, all users, so that way you know what's happening, what people are doing, and how they're progressing, where they came in from with all the UTM parameters and all of that. Some of these other ones, it just depends on what you're trying to do. For lead websites, for more business lead generation type activities, there's a couple other tools that you might want to use. Like I said, I did another video on Get Emails. You're going to want to check that out. That helps you identify anonymous website visitors and get their email address. That's another tag you could use. Again, you'll probably want that one to fire on all pages, depending on where people come in, the landing pages that they come into your website on. And really just anything else. There's a lot of really interesting tools out there. There's actually another one that I just heard about, that if somebody enters their business email address, you can get all their information about them. You can get their name, you can get their title, you can get the company they work at, you can get all of this. It's like 20 plus pieces of information just from their email. That's going to be a tag that helps integrate and pull that email as they push that in. So there's a lot of interesting tools out there that you should check out. But definitely download Google Tag Manager, deploy that code on your website, and hey, if you like this video, I'll make more of these types of videos, but I just wanted to explain because it took me years to figure this out and how this worked here, and nobody explained it this cleanly of how exactly the tag firing structure works and how simple Google Tag Manager makes it, so that way you have one place that you need to go to control everything. You get more control, it's simpler, it's easier, and you have user management inside of Google Tag Manager instead of everybody logging into the website playing with all these different tags. So it's a great solution. Definitely check it out. And if you have more questions, leave a comment down below and I'll get to your questions and make a video about it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.